London is situated in the southeast of England in Thames Valley, home to over 8 million peoples. The capital of the UK has been an important financial, educational and cultural centre for hundreds of years. Of the many guests England has been given to the world, none has been greater than her language and literature. And if ever there is a city, the great like an epic saga, it's London. The story of London began in Primus Age, but it didn't really get going until the Romans withdrew in the 5th century. Growing into one of the great medieval trading cities, she truly came of age in 11th century, when William the Conqueror has built the Tower of London, which was become one of England's grimest prison. London is very easy to navigate around and is compact enough to explore on foot. This walled city is filled of iconic symbols, and one of the most easily recognizable is Tower Bridge, an impressive reminder of London's rapid expansion during the Industrial Revolution. Just upriver, the Houses of Parliament, Big Bens built across the city every hour on the hour. Buckingham Palace, perhaps the most famous palace in the world, it is the official residence of Queen Elizabeth. It is a popular London attraction offering tours of stairruns and gardens. Nearby, Kensington Palace is open to the public year-round. The palace and gardens will be remembered there is home of Princess Diana and Prince Charles, and recently undergone of multi-million-pound of refurbishment. Another legacy of England's monarchy of the Royal Parks of London. They will want to reserve these private hunting grounds for the royal family, but nowadays they are open for everyone to enjoy. There are 8 royal parks and many of them are in central London and close to royal palaces and other historic monuments. The Green Parks and St James Park are right next to the Buckingham Palace and Admiralty Arch and the Mount. Hyde Park is perhaps the most famous with its man-made lake. And on the other side, Kensington Gardens is a beautiful open expanse that stretches east towards Kensington Palace. The Albert Memorial is at the south and end of Kensington Gardens, and the striking Rome statue looks towards the Royal Albert Hall just across the road. The hall is yet another reminder of Queen Victoria's great love than her husband, Prince Albert. Many of London's greatest story has begun in her houses of worship, and none is so impressive and important as Westminster Abbey. This is where the kings and queens has been crowned, married and even buried. London has rebuilt after the Great Fire in 1666, and St. Paul Cathedral is the most enduring monument to the city transformation. It is a great testament to the British strength and resilience. London is a city that almost brought her own story, but also the story of humankind. British Museum is one of the finest in the world, and her treasures cover thousands of years of story. This museum is open every day, and the best of all, it's free. From the ancient to the modern, the London Eye offers a complete change of pace and perspective. The massive wheels is over 400 feet high and take 30 minutes to complete one rotation. From here, you can see the London Oval as well as some of the city's newest traditions, all in air-conditioned comfort. London will always be a city that looks towards the past and the future in equal measure. From Rule Britannia to Cool Britannia, the fabric and skyline of the city is forever turning over a new page, which is, after all, what every great story should do.
Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier.
Hey, buddy.
Ooh, child, things will get brighter. Someday.
Hey, buddy.
If your life flashes before your eyes, make sure it's in an IIHS top safety pick, the Volkswagen Jetta. That's the power of German engineering.
Windsor Castle, as it appears today, is the result of almost 1,000 years of development, but 4 monarchs in particular have left their marks. William the Conqueror, who founded the castle and established its outline plan and extent. Edward III, who rebuilt it in a magnificent Gothic style and established the royal apartments in the upper ward. While the Charles II, who transformed the upper ward of the medieval castle into a baroque palace, and George V, who restored the exterior to confirm the romantic ideals of castle architecture, and created sumptuous and richly furnished palace interiors within the ancient fabric. William the Conqueror began building at Windsor around 1070, and his work was finished by 1086. The castle was built as one of a chain of fortification around London, and occupies the only naturally defensive site in the part of the Thames Valley, 30 meters above the river. Of the original group of castles, only Windsor has survived intact. Waterloo Chamber. Its vast room was designed by Geoffrey Woodville for George IV, but was completed in the reign of his successor, William IV. It was created to display Sir Thomas Lawrence's portraits, painted to celebrate the success of the forces of Great Britain, Austria, Prussia, and Russia, the Battle of Waterloo in June 1815, when Napoleon Bonaparte was finally defeated. The panel walls of the Waterloo Chamber are applied with limewood carvings. The ingenious roof, decorated by the firm of Crace, has raking clerestory reminiscent of ship timbers. The next section of the Windsor Castle is the state apartments. The sequence of rooms built for Charles II and his queen, Catherine of Braganza, between 1675 and 1678. Form the grandest sequence of Baroque state apartments in England, with elaborate painted ceilings and panelled walls ornamented with superb carvings by Grinling Gibbons and his assistants. The room has subsequently been much altered. The panelling was replaced by silk hanging in George III. But 3 of the original painted ceilings by Antonio Verrio were renewed in ornamental plaster by Francis Bernasconi under Woodville's direction. This tremendous chamber is called King's Dining Room. This chamber was Charles' second dining room. The ceiling, one of 3 by Antonio Verrio, that remains from the 1670s, is painted with Banquet of the Gods. The room originally overlooked a brick court which was open to the sky until the 1820s. It lies between the King's and the Queen's apartments, so that both the King and Queens could eat here. This magnificent hall, with a size of 55 by 9 meters squared, was created for George IV by Woodville, who combined 2 adjacent spaces, St. John's Hall and the Royal Chapel, to form one long apartment. Both rooms had magnificent Baroque murals and ceilings by Verrio and carvings by Grinling Gibbons, all of which was dismantled by Whiteville. The painted ceilings was replaced with plain plasterwork studded with the coat of arms of all the Knights of the Garter since the foundation of the order in 1348, with grained plaster ribs at intervals. The screen at each end, also a new addition, support carving of the Queen's Beast, given by the Corporation of London in support of the fire restoration and to mark the golden wedding anniversary of the Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh. The huge silvered and painted plaster garter and rose on the wall behind was presented by the nation of the Commonwealth. The 53 petals represent the members' countries. The design was taken from the 15th century log plate in St. George. Of all the rooms created for George IV, the grand reception rooms perhaps best epitomizes his love of all things French. Intended as the principal ballroom of the castle, it is one of the earliest Rococo Revival interiors in England. Starting a fashion that was to last throughout the 19th century, the walls incorporate 18th century French paneling extended in the height by the addition of molded stucco by Francis Bernasconi. This large chamber is called Garter Throne Room. In this room, the new knights and ladies of the Garter are invested with the insignia of the order by the Queen. It was Queen Victoria's principal throne room, where she received important visitors seated on the magnificent Indian Ivory throne. Whiteville created the space by combining the former King's Presence Chamber or Audience Chamber. St. George Chapel lies on the north side of the lower ward. Work on the present chapel begins under Edward IV in 1475. The magnificent stone fan vaulting seen by visitors today was added shortly afterwards by Henry VII. The chapel was finally completed under Henry VIII in 1528, with a fan vault over the crossing. Windsor is the oldest and the largest inhabited castle in the world. It's been home to the country monarchs for almost 1,000 years. No building in British history can lay claim to have reinvented itself so often. That what makes it is unique among Britain's great buildings. That is what we call a Windsor Castle.